All right, this is the Real Sports Fan Podcast, back for another episode. Oh man, got my brother here with me. Man, he done flew in. I can't say he flew in just for me, but he done flew in and he done made an appearance in person. Season 5, episode 13 of the podcast. We've been trying to do this for a little while, man.
Minute, man.
Yeah, I think last year we had a time we was gonna do it. Then we was gonna do it on Zoom. You told me hold up, you gonna come in person. So
I had to see you, bro.
in
I
the
had
flesh,
to see
man.
you,
Dee
bro.
Ricketts in the
I had to
house.
see
My brother,
man.
brother, love this dude right here, man. I'm telling you, love this dude right here, man. Mr. Entertainment himself is in the building, man. My brother, man. So we're gonna chop it up, man, and really we're gonna laugh, we're gonna talk. I'm gonna give him his flowers. We're gonna talk about the brotherhood we got, you know what I mean, with us and the other brothers, man, and talk about some ball, man. This is one of the best that I've seen right here. We started out together, man. So no, I'm serious. You is, man. One of my favorite teammates. You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna chop it up, man. I had little bro on here a couple seasons ago. Yeah. So now I got big bro in here, man. So again, Dee Ricketts in the building, man. Appreciate you coming on. You know, I couldn't do this without you, man. I gotta give you your flowers as well. You know what I'm saying? Not just for ball, man, but for always being a real one. You know what I'm saying? For always being consistent. You know what I'm saying? And then, like you said, man, for what you did on the court as well, because I'm gonna remind you of some stuff. You know what I'm saying? This is
I'm getting old, man. You got to remind
me. He being humble now, but this is second team All-Bayside. You know what I mean? Your senior year. 15, 5 and 3 a game. You know what I'm saying? Had some big 20-point games we're gonna get into, and then obviously we played together. Your junior year, my senior year, 02 or 3 seed. We definitely got to get into that team. How good that team was. What happened with the penalties and all that crazy mess that happened and what they kind of stopped from happening and all that, man. So, man, but we're just going to start, man, from the beginning, man. Obviously, born and raised Eastern Maryland. Man, just talk a little bit about growing up, man, on the shore.
Man, LBC.
There it is.
That's it right there.
There it is.
Limerick Court, man.
I know about LBC.
I don't know. Is it still called LBC?
Nah, that's still called LBC.
I know Talbot Village, Pippin Farms now.
Oh yeah, they did. Right. It's always Talbot Village and LBC. Yeah. So yeah, I don't care if they change the name or not.
LBC, bro. We had the dirt courts in the back. We had the crates over in between Talbot Village and Limerick Court.
Definitely did.
I think that's when a lot of people know Bummer from football, but that's Bummer who used to hoop.
Oh yeah,
that's the first person I ever seen hoop.
See, I never knew that. Yeah. See, that's crazy. I never knew that.
I ain't hoop at the time, but I used to watch him.
Okay.
So, Mike Blake, my best friend. You know what I mean? Everybody know Mike.
You know Mike Beasley.
He the one that really put the ball in my hand.
Oh, okay.
Because
he was a gym rat. You know what I'm saying?
So,
well, it's funny you say because Boo actually said the same thing when he
was
going.
No, it was crazy because Mike had just moved out to Limerick Court from, I think he lived down bottom.
Okay.
And this was during a time where if you read a book, you can save up little stars and stuff at Pizza Hut.
Come on.
That personal. Yeah. So Mike, a lot of people don't know, Mike a little nerd, man. So Mike must have read enough books to get a ball. This Pizza Hut ball, right? Little basketball, bro.
This guy was smart.
So my man out there dribbling the ball, and I'm outside, I'm bored. Like, yo. So I was just like, yo, could I play with the ball with you? Yeah. So we started we was playing 2 square back then.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Mike had never played 2 square, or he just sucked. I don't know. But we did that. Then after that, he had me dribbling and stuff. I seen people play ball, but I was in the baseball.
I know, I know you was.
That was my.
You played for Delmarva.
Yeah.
Was you
Signet Bank?
You weren't Coldwell.
I was Signet Bank.
You were Signet Bank. Okay.
We was trash.
I poured that one up.
We was trash, but I did my thing.
See, just so you know, I poured that one up. Delmarva 23.
Oh, you done beat
Mike Bell.
See, that's junior league.
Yeah, that's junior league. Yeah.
You done deep, boy.
I got it right on the page.
Yeah, that's where it all started.
So how old was you then when ball got put in?
I had to be like second grade.
Second grade, okay.
Yeah, because Mike, it was me, Mike, and Jawan Copper. You know what I mean? It was us 3. Jawan, his dad lived out Limerick Court.
Oh,
So he would come through too. So
I knew that. Okay.
Yeah.
I knew a lot of y'all, because then even the younger guys used to be out there.
Man, we was deep.
After y'all too. Oh man, was RJ?
Yeah,
RJ out there?
Grums.
Was Tay Mims out there?
Tay, Boo.
Yeah.
Lionel Copper.
Oh man.
Harold Brown, Van.
Yeah, that was a good time. Another time to be alive right there. Man. Yeah. So you talked about starting off in baseball. Mike, like you said, he was a gym rat. He loved ball. And it's funny now because he don't touch it at all now, but he love ball. So he got a lot of people.
I've been trying to get Mike to coach for years.
If we do a charity game or something, hey, you like I want to, he gonna play. We're gonna make him.
We'll get him right. We'll get him right.
But yeah, you talked about basketball, but talk about just growing up, man. Your mom, strong black woman, man. Always respected her a lot. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man. Love Miss Athena, man. Talk about Miss Athena and just your upbringing and all that good stuff.
Athena is well, they know her as Mocha Brown on Facebook. Mocha Brown, you know what I mean? She former Army, you know, she had me young. She had me in high school, but then she, went the Army route, and I grew up between her mom and my dad's mom, back and forth a little bit.
Okay.
Then she got out of the Army, came home. She became a correctional officer. So everybody know her from that.
Yeah.
And then she met my stepdad, Big E. You know what I mean? And like it just took off from there. She was rough. Like a lot of people was afraid of her. You know what I'm saying? But
she didn't mince words.
Yeah. She didn't, bro. But it was because she cared.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
Like
Most definitely.
everybody sleeping over at our house. You know what I mean? Like her thing was she would rather all of us be at the crib
than out doing something foolish.
Exactly.
I've heard her say that exact thing.
Exactly, bro. I remember times we have almost 18, 19 people at the crib.
Like LBC,
in a 3-bedroom apartment. So it's like, but it was love, man. That was all the moms out there for real.
All the moms, man.
It was good, man. Miss Monica, Miss Lena. It was dope.
It was a family and community out there. That matter if you were stepping over kids to get to the kitchen or something. As long as everybody was there and they're safe, man. It was good. So
Frankie too. Frankie, his mom's rest in peace. He used to be over there. Like LBC, it was like a little family, man. My mom was just like the neighborhood mom for real. You know what I mean?
And it's not easy raising, a one boy, let alone two. Obviously, Blue came, and then later, down the line, Jay came as well. But talk about, because one thing I respect about you outside of ball and even outside of us being friends is you're a strong black man that's a provider, that's in the service, which we're gonna get into that as time goes on as well. But talk about the men in your life, and you can touch on obviously your dad. I know your relationship has grown, and then also touch on the impact that Big E had, because I'm sure that coming in as a stepdad, sometimes you can come in like, hey, man, what you doing? Like, you know what I'm saying? So man, let's talk about his impact. Talk about both of them.
Men wise, like a lot of people don't know, like my uncle Nookie.
Oh yeah,
Nookie.
Yeah.
And my uncle Sylvester. You know what I'm saying? Like Sylvester, my mom's first cousin.
Okay.
But they always grew up like brothers, so that's why we call them uncle.
Okay.
But them two was like the first two that was really, you know what I'm saying, part of our life. And then it was like, it's wild, like even in the neighborhood, we had Big Nevin, we had Earl, rest in peace. You know what I'm saying? Like Marty and Shelton and them used to come out there every now and then. Like, so it was like, for a while, you know what I mean, we didn't have too much, but then Eric came along and it was like, dang, like, you know what I mean? Like my pops, you know what I'm saying? He was there, but he was going, at the time he went through a little bit, you know what I'm saying? He had a little alcohol problem, whatever. And today he's 4 years clean. You know what I'm saying? So, and it's like, the relationship that I gained with Eric was just so, man, it's like, I can't really put words to it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it just, he came in, me and Boo never made it easy. Like, we never made it easy, bro. Like, We was whatever you could do as a stepson the wrong way we did it. You not my dad, all that. And even
he was a big boy too, man.
Even my mom used to be like, yeah, they're my kids. So then, we gonna ride with it. And, like, bro, I remember the day that Eric earned all my respect, bro. I don't know what it was, but we got into an argument and I was bold enough to swing on him. Look, Lance, I swung on him.
Yeah, you was bold.
Eric knew karate, all that. Yeah. So he like choked me up, whatever.
Jody and Baby Boy before the movie.
It was just like that. It was just like that. He holding me or whatever. I like wiggle myself out of my shirt. So I get free. And then Boo come in to back me up. And then he's just choking Boo up.
See y'all now.
You know what I mean? Like I had to apologize to Boo years later, but I ended up leaving the crib because I was old enough to drive.
Oh, okay.
So Boo had to stay there and get the Jody choke out. But man, I was like, man, this dude not playing.
Yeah.
And it was like, I left for a few days and went and stayed with my grandma, I remember. And I came home and Eric just hugged me and told me he loved me, yeah. Wow. And I was like
from there, he was like, if I could do all this man still stay, love me, love my mom, I can give him a chance, a real chance.
That was it, yeah. I was like, man, I'm coming home expecting him to like talk about what happened. He was like, I love you, yeah. Like, come here, hug me. And this, I'm like, I was like 15 or 16, so like, I'm in high school, like, and it was like he was the first man to really give me affection. Like all the other ones like made me tough, but but he's the first one to do that. You know what I'm saying?
That's real.
Yeah, man.
That's dope, man. That's a dope story, man. And then that kind of segues me into, my introduction to Big E, because we're actually cousins, and I didn't even know until like my dad told me. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Until like my dad had told me, you know what I'm saying? Years later after that. But when me and you met, if I'm not mistaken, I want to say I was in 6th, you was in 5th for the green team, YMCA. Yeah, I was in 6th, you was in 5th. Yeah. That's when I met you, Mike, all them. But me and you, I was connected. We were on the same team.
Yeah.
So we're gonna say to some of these teams, and we were young, but we were deep.
Yeah.
And we were good. So you got myself. This is my first time organized ball. Dee Ricketts, Aaron Brummel. Shout out Aaron.
Yeah.
Daniel Larry went on. Daniel was on Mike team. Yeah. Tremaine Gibson. Tremaine was so he was big, just like me too.
Big Country.
Big Country. Steve DeCosta. Yeah, Big Country. Steve DeCosta. Shout out to Costa.
And Winnie was on there.
Winnie was on there. Winnie played with me every year, 6, 7, 8. We was on the same YMCA team. So this is a deep team. But I say all that to say that my first coaches was Miss Athena and Big E and Eric. You know what I mean? So that was my first coach. So that's why, like, I always go back to that first moment. Like they introduced me to organized ball in the real team. But I remember your mom was tough then. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, her name was the head coach.
She was the head. She was the head coach. I was like, oh man, that's interesting. Okay. Man, like you know what I mean? Because you ain't always get a woman coach with boys. You know what I'm saying? Now years later, they're just doing that. You think about professional ball, they're trying to get that in, the Becky Hams, the Reese Witherspoons, people like that. But it's dope thinking back, like, wow. That's the thing. It was my first coach. It was a woman.
Man, I didn't even know she knew nothing about ball. Like, I think my Aunt Florence, she used to play basketball.
Oh, okay.
My grandma might have played, but I was like, Mom, like
it probably was also her. Like, I'm gonna make sure D doing. He posted down. If I got a coach,
that's her. That's her.
Coach over coach, man. But that team was good. I think we lost maybe 2 games.
We won the championship.
Yeah, but I think we maybe just lost 2. Well, yeah.
As long as we won that championship, baby.
It was also the great team, Hawkeye team. What DJ and Turtle, Eric Bryce. They had a good squad too, but we were deeper. Who
was Mike and them? Red?
Mike and them was, I think, blue. No, red was Twan and Todd. Sorry, y'all was trash. Right? Your team, Jawan was on
with Jawan.
But Twan always talk about that too. Shout out my boy, because Twan always talk about that's when he met us too.
Yeah.
So if you think about like that's why we gonna do some stuff. I ain't gonna put it on here because I want nobody to take my ideas. But for our friends, we gonna do some stuff together because even the origin of that story, I didn't realize like 6th grade, 5th grade. We're still all friends today. Like all of us are still friends.
Bro. So some of my I got a nice core of friends in Jacksonville, bro. But they don't understand. Like they understand, but they don't. Like like when I be talking about my friends, I'm like,
yo, think it's a couple. They probably think it's a couple. Yo, you can't be tight with all them people. Like, yeah. So they'll see in a few months.
Yeah, they was like, y'all got that many friends. I was like, I don't believe in friends. Like they my family, but all the dudes I hang with, I known at least since fifth grade.
Since fifth grade,
You know what I'm saying?
Because like, it is rare, man. And like I didn't even really realize until like sometimes we talking to Mika and just talking to people like, you know how rare it is to have like it's one thing, like you said, have 2, 3, 4, but man, we got like 9, 10, 11 that are tight, like I mean tight. Like we just ain't no associates. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like we cool. If somebody needs something, we gonna go see about, you know, what's up. You know, but yeah, it's man. So definitely a blessing, bro. So from the YMCA. The other thing I gotta talk to you about, and this is kind of, and I kind of was thinking about this on the ride home today, and kind of forgot. I'm glad I remember. Dale Green, man, like talk about the impact that Dale Green made on you, and also what do you remember about playing on that travel team? Because I remember after the Y we had the regular season, but then like we would have the travel team and stuff like that. But also like even in the beginning stages of like travel ball and stuff like. I remember like you, Turtle, Cabby, y'all would stay with Dale. And I never played with Dale. So I always wondered, like, and I was like, man, y'all was like the cool kids. Like, you know what I mean? Got Dale, y'all got a nice jersey, you know, middle school team eventually and all that. So talk about Dale Green and that program.
So Dale Green, I actually met Green from baseball.
Okay.
Because he coached baseball.
Oh, okay.
And at the time, back then, when I was in Little League, I mean, historically in Easton, majority of the white kids played, you know what I mean, baseball.
For sure.
So Green's team used to always have most of the black kids. Like he picked up mostly black boys.
Okay.
And, you know, I wasn't on their team. You know what I'm saying? My boy, Charlie, that was his name. His dad, I was cool with him. Mr. Rao, Dustin Rao, that was like my first friend ever. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it was like, you know, I was kind of like torn because I was like, dang, like I'm getting to the age where I'm starting to hang more around my black friends, but I wasn't on their team.
Right.
So I would go to their games at the mine, and Dale would talk to me this and that, and it'd just be cool. Like, and he had Cabby, and me and Cabby was cool. So it was like basketball came around, and I don't know if AAU had started or not.
That's what I'm saying. I want to say it hadn't yet. I think Dale was first.
Yeah,
Dale had started first. Yeah,
so
for sure.
For some reason, like me, Turtle, Cabby, KJ, Donnie, Mike Bell, like, all of us played ball with Dale, and then it was a wide travel team.
Yeah. Well, I travel team, right. Because I played there with like Trinity and Dixon and those guys a little bit older.
I don't know why, but me and Donnie was the only ones that played the wide travel team. I don't remember why.
I don't know what happened either.
But we played both. So then AAU came along, and that was Richard, Mike there. You know what I'm saying? Like I knew Richard, but like I wasn't close to him like that yet. So I just stuck with what I knew. You know what I mean? Like Green was more than a coach. You know what I'm saying? Like at this point in my life, all my coaches was more than a coach. But at that time, he was like, you know what I mean, a father figure.
Definitely.
He would take us out skating and stuff. Like it was more than basketball.
You needed stuff like that, especially back in the day, man.
So I mean, he even that's Jay's godfather.
Oh wow.
So it's like, you know, he got a relationship with my parents. Like that was my man. To this day, that's my man.
That's dope. That's dope. Yeah. I know that. Yeah, man. I'm glad I said that because the impact of Dale Green, man, definitely.
And to really go deep into that.
Yeah.
You might was gonna ask me this later, but
you good.
My favorite player ever from Easton was James Thomas. You know what I'm saying? Like that was my man.
That was my man
too, he played for Dale.
That was my man.
But he was on the older group.
Yep.
And like Eric and his mom, I think they related. I don't know, but I used to be around them because of Eric. And I just used to watch him, and I'm like, he was just cool to me.
Cool. He was always good. He treated everybody good, man. He treated everybody good.
I just ran with, like, I'm like, hey, he played for him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, he wore 45.
Yeah, he did.
People ain't know that.
He did.
That's why I put 45 on. Like,
that's crazy.
That's what I'm saying.
Like, you know, we used to always mess with you like Jordan wear the 4 or 5. Like,
it wasn't even Jordan. I mean, you know, Jordan, my man.
Your man too, but
Jig, it was him, like, and it was like, it wasn't even really at first it wasn't even hoops. I just thought he was cool.
Yeah, it was cool.
Like,
Yeah,
I'm just a younger cat
dude,
looking up to him.
Most definitely.
Then he could hoop too.
Yeah.
So I'm like,
it was a win-win all the way around.
Let me see what I can do.
Yeah.
So,
start from there.
Yeah,
That's
man.
dope. That's dope.
It was a TCYBL or something like that.
Something like that. Yeah, because I had to join. I found that y'all played St. Peter and Paul in double overtime. Y'all won. Brandon Jenkins had like 17. You had like 11.
Yeah, I forgot like about
12.
Jenkins.
I think Colin Krause and Hood was on St. Peter and Paul at the time, middle school. So I ran into that. I was like, oh yeah, Dale Green. So yeah, that's dope. So what you remember though about y'all AAU teams? Y'all had some good AAU teams too. Y'all went to states and all that. You, Mike, and them, and D Jones, and
deep.
y'all was deep, bro. I know you had to tell me who all that because I didn't forget. Y'all was so deep, bro. Like y'all, because y'all was winning when we still was losing. You know what I'm saying?
No lie, we could have probably made 2 teams out of that team, and both teams would have went to states.
He's not even exaggerating.
Yeah,
he's saying that. He's not exaggerating at all.
Like,
yeah, he's not exaggerating at all.
I mean, I think
y'all had Brian Richards.
Yeah, we had him.
Y'all had Todd Johnson.
Was
KJ on there with y'all?
No, Juice came with y'all.
Yeah, was KJ with y'all because his birthday was late? Yeah.
KJ, Mike. Mike Bell, Winnie,
obviously Jones.
Then we Charlie Pinkett, Mar. Then we ended up getting
Brendan Kincaid.
We had Brendan.
Yeah, I'm missing somebody.
We had Aaron from over Stephen Decatur, Aaron White. We had him.
That's crazy.
Edwin
Lashley. Yeah, Edwin was on here too.
My man Cornell from High.
From Bennett. Cornell Jenkins.
Akai.
What you got?
You remember Akai? So Akai, don't be mad with me, bro, but he live in Florida now.
Oh, okay.
But Akai is the one who, I think Akai came from over across the bridge, like PG area.
Okay.
I could be wrong, but he the one who, and you might want to say that if you get with LT, but that's the one. Remember when LT left for the summer and went down to Florida?
That's who he was working
out with.
And LT talked about that when he was on here for going to work. Because I even brought it up, but I didn't know.
Yeah, he on there. Me and him just reconnected. He live out in Orlando.
That's what's up. Okay. I would know if I see him. The name sound familiar, but okay. Y'all was deep, man. But yeah, that was some good times at AAU, man. Y'all did a lot of awesome things for the shore, and you know what I mean. And the East Shore Athletic Organization was just great to all of us, man. And it was all those you talked about those men in our lives, that, like you said, the Richard guys, the Wayne Brooks, Hawkeye, the JR, Barnett, the James Bass, Mike Stanford, all the Bobby guys, all those guys, man, even guys behind the scenes that helped us out with stuff like that. So that was dope. So, we talked about, obviously, baseball. We talked about YMCA basketball. We talked about Dale Green. We talked about AAU. Getting to high school, man, what was your mentality? JV. So you come in 9th grade, and y'all had in the 10th grade team, the 10th grade class had a good year still with obviously I was in 10th, but I had moved up. So you still had Twan, you still had Turtle.
I was so nervous.
You had all those guys to go with. You had Donnie to go with you, Mike, Winnie. I mean, y'all, I was jealous of y'all. Man, y'all team was so good and deep. I was mad. I was like, I want to stay down. I was like, I'm trying to play with them.
You know my mentality. Like I like to play. I ain't never been on a team that I ain't really start or had a big role. And I'll be honest with you. I remember talking to Mike, and I'm like, because for a long time, me and Mike was like younger. We was the same size. Then I got bigger. So I'm like, yo, like your dad gonna put me at like the 3, or you know what I'm saying? Like I'm like, man. Cabby, Lance,
and at the time you thinking me and Cabby's gonna be there too.
I'm like, yo, I'm like, bro, I ain't gonna get no burn. I gotta do something. Like I can shoot. Like before that, I wasn't going to the rack that much. I was relying on my shot.
It's funny you say that too, because I'm gonna talk about that too.
I got with of course with Mike.
Yeah.
But my man Nevin, who I was telling you about, who lived out Lynbrook Court.
Yeah.
He like, yo, you gotta get in that paint. You getting bigger, you getting stronger. So at the Y, I start going through the rack a little more, watching y'all. Like, bro, I watch you and Cabby and Lance to the point of like almost perfection. Like, I don't know if you remember this, but it used to be time whenever you shot from the corner, your wrist bounced like that.
Nah,
bro, I swear you used to shoot. and you'll be like that, but only from the corner.
Yeah, that's crazy, man.
You know, Cabby ball spun like a glove. You know what I'm saying? Twan.
Yeah, Twan, yeah.
I watched how he got off-ball blocks. He would wait for somebody else to pump,
man, I tell you,
here he comes.
So many shots, man. Yeah, he
Bruh,
did. Yeah.
I was taking it all, and I'm
I never knew all that. That's crazy.
Man, and then like Turtle, like I love how Turtle passed, but I ain't never want to pass.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
But hit you in the face.
I was just like,
your nose might be bloody.
Yeah,
you ain't
so
catch it
I'm
right.
like,
You gonna throw it hard.
Yeah, that's all that was in my head. I'm like, I could do Turtle because he gonna dish me the rock. But like Richard kept telling us, high school is a competition. And I really looked at it that way. And I'm like, yeah, I don't think I'm better than Lance, Twan, or Cabby. Like I just didn't. So I was like, I gotta do something. And then you and Cabby moved up. So I'm like so now only people I gotta take is between it was Colin Krause,
Colin,
or Ty. You know, Ty, my man, but it's like it was between them two. And Ty, he ended up still starting. And I got Colin's spot. So
it worked out.
Yeah,
it worked out because I told you the game I put on IG where y'all played Colonel. It's funny you mentioned Ty because Ty. That was the best game he had. He had like 15 points, and like 10 assists or something crazy like that. You had 22. You had the first 9 of the game, and then Twan had 25. You know what I'm saying? And just like you said, that the person that just conducted everything was Turtle. Just putting everything in. And that's what's crazy. Like as we go soon to my senior year, junior year soon, is that as deep as that team was, our team would have been just as deep, but we didn't have some of those same guys, for different reasons, which we'll get into. But man, you did your thing as a freshman.
But it's crazy when you look at it. Like nothing against like me and Twan, but the way me and Twan played was just like fast paced, go figure it out while we're going. But then you got Mike, Turtle, and Ty, who all had the IQ.
And he had Winnie on the ball.
So they putting us in the position to do what we do. I always tell people,
run the lanes, they'll find you.
They made basketball so easy for me.
They did.
Because I ain't had to do nothing. I ain't really had to think. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Bro. Both of them did for sure. They definitely made it easy.
Yeah, man.
So you had a great freshman year, and then obviously, those 10th grade guys, come to varsity. You mentioned Turtle, Donnie, Twan, those guys. So then your 10th grade year, I actually remember. I think Mike had wrote an article for. I know you don't remember this. I wonder if Mike you'll remember this when you see this, but I'm pretty sure, Mike. If I'm wrong, you let me know later. But I'm pretty sure when you was in 10th grade. Mike had a project or a book report or something, and he wrote it on you and what you was doing. Because you was averaging like 26 your 10th grade year on TV. You was killing, like putting a number and I don't even know.
I ain't know
y'all might have lost
that.
just a couple. But yeah, Mike, when you see this, let us know.
I'm pretty sure.
My memory serves you right. I'm pretty sure. But yeah, but talk about 10th grade because it got easy, didn't it? Because your experience your freshman year, obviously seeing those guys and then playing, you were playing good then. So just talk about then 10th grade, you know what I'm saying? Like
10th grade was a gift and a curse for me personally.
Why you
know what I'm saying? Like, because I got somewhat of the big head,
that's real.
I'm
that's
like
real.
that's what people would tell you. Like I play ball because my friends played. You know what I'm saying? Like I never had that like super serious. You know what I'm saying? Like I wasn't like I want to win state.
I got you.
I'm just I want to drop 30 tonight. You know what I'm saying?
I feel you.
But it helped the team because I'm dropping 30.
Exactly.
But it's like 10th grade was fun. I ain't gonna lie, it was fun. And it's like Richard tried it. Like Richard really tried his hardest to humble us. And it was like me and Mike both was cocky. But Mike was in a different way. Mike, Mike real laid back.
Confident, cocky.
I was like real and then like I remember when we used to play y'all in practice.
Actually, Dee Skinner, shout out to Skinner. He always talk about that. Y'all had that one practice. He always bring this up. That one practice of that y'all was kicking our behind, and I think Butler threw the ball or something like that.
The ball.
And Skinner always bring that one thing up because he always say y'all could have beat us. And listen, I know y'all guys at one time, but my opinion, I say this about my 11th grade team. And I know y'all got the best of. I always say that team, depth-wise, was actually deeper than my 12th grade, but it wasn't as talented.
Okay,
depth-wise,
I give you that. But
it just wasn't as talented.
Y'all was lacking in the guard area. Heavy.
Yeah.
That's what killed y'all.
Yeah, for sure.
But I agree with you on that.
For sure. But he always ran it up. But 10th grade, I knew 10th grade was easy. 10th grade was
But
easy.
Skinner was one of the me and Skinner like that's my man. But Me and Skinner back then.
Y'all butt heads.
And we butt heads, bro. But it was because he, like, even how he is with his kids and stuff now, like, Skinner real passionate. And it was like, I wasn't. And he knew, like, yo, like, yeah, like, you nice. Yeah. But if you take this serious, then you can take it a whole nother level. And I'm like, bro, I don't care. Like, I just want to score. Yeah. Just give me the ball.
Give me the ball, man. You know what I'm saying?
I remember Skinner had his best game when I fouled out. I remember I fouled out against Bennett.
Oh, yeah?
And Skinner was killing, man. And I'm glad we ended up winning. Yeah. But deep down inside, I was like, dang.
Yeah. Right.
He did his thing. Like, that's funny. He been wanting me to be serious. I mean, shout out to Skinner, man. That's my dog.
My God. So then obviously, you know, the following year, you know, time for varsity, you know, 11th grade. And I was thinking about this, and it kind of reminds me, your 11th and 12th grade years, I'm gonna try to depict it like this, and then we're gonna get into a lot of those games and stuff like that. I remember, so 11th grade, so like if Gary doesn't come, you probably end up starting.
Yeah.
Or Twan. Twan started the first game. Twan started the first game, and then so between y'all two, maybe the lineup would have been different. Maybe Turtle would have stayed, and both of y'all would have started. However, would have been. Yeah. But I say that like this because you kind of remind me of Brooks Blake in a way, in a couple different ways.
That's another one of my favorite players,
I'm gonna tell you
man.
why, because y'all had some similarities too, like in the way y'all played and also how positioned. Because like Brooks, his 11th grade year, he would have ended up starting and taking off, but Shelton came, so then he had to wait the final year, his 12th grade year. Same thing with you, your 11th grade year. You did a lot. I'm gonna pull up some numbers here in a second, but you could have did even more if Gary didn't come in your 12th grade year. You know, you obviously was your team. You know what I mean? So it kind of remind me of Brooks when I was thinking about that. And, you know, when Sean came with him. But that team, man, like, I mean, we talk about it a lot, and obviously we're gonna talk about how good it was. But just coming into that year in your first year in varsity, even though you knew all us already, but you coming in with you know, you and Mike, and obviously, you know, Winnie didn't play, but you said you, Mike, then was me, Big Derek Cannon, Cabby, Twan, Gary's out transfer, Rob Landry comes, Cornell Jenkins out of Canada, lead little, you know, 6-man right there. So just talk about, you know, your thought process and just your mentality. You know, knowing we had a chance to do big things, you know.
So I remember Gary talking to us about coming, and like, I think a lot of people thought like that, like, yo, D gonna be like a little upset by that, but I was hyped, bro. I remember, man, Gary came to school. That's my people. So like, Gary came to school, and from day one, I'm gassing him up. I'm like, yo, my cousin here, like, we about to kill. That's probably the first time I ever talked about states for high school. I'm like, we gonna win the state, whatever. Like I'd be like, I was willing to take the backseat to that because I was like, yo,
we had that on our minds for sure.
And Richard was gonna be coaching. So I'm like,
good point.
I know Richard know I'm nice. So like, even if I don't start, I'm gonna get some
JV coach. You know, you're going up. Right. You know,
so it's like that probably was my favorite. That was probably my favorite team, bro.
That was a great team, man.
That was my favorite team, bro.
That was a great team.
And it was like, I was hyped about Gary. We was hyped about winning, but then he ended up not playing. You know what I'm saying? Turtle was off and on. But like, that's really who I was at that year.
But you know what was?
I was at Turtle that year. I wanted his slot.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. But you know what's crazy, and it's funny you mentioned Turtle too. I'm gonna say something about that. You know what's crazy, and this a lot of people understand. As great as that team was, we still didn't have everybody. Because this is the thing, and that's why I say it reminds me too of the undefeated team that lost games. It's just coincidence we end up having losing games because for some dumb stuff too. But if you think about it, I think about it like this. All right, these are some of the cats we was missing. We was missing Winnie, right? Turtle only played one game, so basically we was missing him. We missed Donnie. Donnie didn't play. And then some people don't remember. You might even forgot that Tremaine Gibson was in school for a little bit that year, but then he ended up going to Denton and not playing. He waited the next year, and then also Tay Robertson came back to school, but he went right back out. But even if you cut Tremaine and Teo, between Winnie, Turtle, and Donnie. Bro, if we just have two of them.
Just two of them.
Just two of those three. Because if we have all those three, people really gonna be mad about playing time. but bro, we just had two of them, and one of them being a guard. You know what I mean?
Ty didn't play.
Well, actually, two of them being a guard. I'm talking about Ty stopped playing after his 10th grade year.
Too.
Yeah, Ty stopped playing after his 10th grade year. Ty stopped growing. You know, Ty ain't gonna run that point guard. You know what I'm saying? But that he had the IQ. He could have did it. But two of those was guards. So if we had two of those three, and Donnie was basically a guard too, so you could really say three. He ended up being a forward, you know, lengthwise. But
I don't know.
It was scary.
Bro, I don't know if people knew how good Turtle was. Yeah,
they don't, bro.
Turtle was
because he didn't get a shoulder in high school. He had a couple of real nice games in high school, but he never got.
Turtle was bad.
Yeah, he was, and I always say, man, I wish. You know, I mean, he people got to see it, man, because he was special. Because, and this is why I'm segueing to that. I'm glad you brought that up, because this is why I give you a lot of credit. You actually played out of position your junior year, because the fact that Turtle, because what ended up happening, just for people out there that may have forgot. So, the first game of the season, Gary actually started at the point. There was me, Cavi, Twan, and Derek Cannon. Yeah. But let's be real, Gary wasn't a point. Yeah. We needed Gary to be comfortable scoring the basketball. So basically, that second half of that North Carolina game, and we're gonna talk about how that game was live too. First game of the season on the road. Shout out to Ron Ringo. And it was a great game. They gave us a battle, but we ended up winning by 5. Because Richard got into us at the half.
Yeah.
So he brought Mike in and started, and then from there, Mike started. Right, and you were basically the backup point guard.
Yeah. So
you really played out position. So talk about how either that helped you, you know, being able to handle the ball more and touch it, or do you think it ended up being a hindrance?
I tell people all the time, man, that's the only thing I never got to my game. Like
the handle.
And I don't know if it's because I ain't want to, but like people see Boo and they and then Boo be like, yeah, my brother taught me how to play. I ain't teach Boo that.
I ain't teach you that.
Boo could probably dribble as good as he can because I wouldn't let Boo shoot.
Gotcha.
But I never got the handle. I was a catch, one move, and I'm gone.
That's how I was.
But like I remember, I don't know if it was my junior or senior year, but I remember one game, Mike got hurt. Richard put me at the point. I got plucked. And dunked on the first play of the game.
But it's fine because you were learning from it though. Like, you know what I'm saying? You were learning from it though. So yeah, but so and so that's why I give you credit, because you ended up being stuck, basically being in the backup point now. At the same time, maybe that brought you more minutes. Yeah. Because you know
it worked out.
It worked out because one thing with Mike, as hard as he plays, sometimes he'll get some cheap fouls.
Yeah.
So then you came in a lot, and especially like I said with no Turtle and all that. So a lot of times we would run small lines, Derek. Maybe he out and then you in there with me, Garrett, So, in the long run it worked out. But some of the games you had would stick out to me. I talked about North Carolina, the St. Michael's game. You actually led us in scoring. You had 17. Gary had 16. I think me and Kay both had like 12 apiece, but we had like 17 steals, as a defense. So, like, the St. Michael's game was that game, and it's no coincidence that that's when all that stuff started, because we busted. Like, I mean, that was like a highlight. We had like 5 dunks. I mean, it was a fun game. Like, we were sharing the ball. We were finally getting, because you remember second game of the season we lost to Cambridge. Yeah. And that's only because of, I'm not going to say only because, but we weren't ready to play them yet as a new team. We were still trying to implement Gary and
they was all gelled together already.
And plus that year we were supposed to play Cambridge like the 4th game of the season, but the snow messed things up, so it messed the scheduling up. So we ended up playing the second game, which we weren't ready for them yet. So, and I'm gonna get to that Cambridge game at home, which you had a big impact in that one. So that game stuck out, and then after the break, we had Kent Island. We went on the road to Kent Island. Yeah. That was live.
That was on my birthday.
Yeah, that was on your birthday. Yeah. That was a good game. And then we beat Snow Hill, Edwin, and then, which is big. People came in from South. They had one loss. They thought they were gonna beat us. We basically dominated them. Yeah. So we were building all that momentum, and then I don't remember how it was. We started hearing some whispers about possibly losing games when he didn't do anything wrong. Yeah. All the paperwork that they told us, that they told him to fill out, they did it. Come back and they said no, now we need another paper, and You know,
Richard even asked at the beginning of the
season because I even said at the beginning, I said, man, stuff
like this.
You was
like, I remember that.
I was like, yo, stuff like this.
Everybody was like, man, Lance don't want Gary to play. I was like, nah. Didn't I say? He just want to protect our season. I want to protect our season. I was like, man, because stuff like this, and then it ended up happening. Like, and we've heard since then there's other ways that could have been prevented and stopped. We can necessarily get into that, but it wasn't our fault. Wasn't nothing we did. But I want to get your perspective. Because I know how I felt. Obviously, I'm in the paper about it. But how did y'all teammates feel? I didn't know if y'all was mad, if y'all felt we was gonna rally together, like, you know what I'm saying? After that happened,
because I was pissed.
As a team, I think we all was like, man, like it's it, like what we playing for now? You know what I'm saying? And it's like, I personally wasn't mad with Gary. Mm-hmm. It might have been some that were, but it's like, like. What we gonna play for now? And it's like that's how it was. They just coming at us. I felt like they just coming at us because it's East. Like Eastern always get this like form of hate, and I'm like,
we were, for people to know, we were 6-1 at the time, maybe 7-1, 6-1 or 7-1 when this happened, and we were tied for first place because remember Cambridge had lost, so it was a 3-way tie with us, Cambridge, and North Dorchester. North Dorchester. So to your point, because I remember going to the Mardella game, and I remember you actually, me and you both frustrated talking like, yo, what we doing now? My senior year, that's what I'm waiting for this. I'm waiting for my senior year to Bayside. So even me as a leader, I had to kind of get myself together and be like, man, that's just hoop. Like, you know what I'm saying?
But that's I think what really pushed like me, Mike, Rob, and all them, because it was like, especially for you and Twan, like it's y'all senior year, and it was like. In our head, we like, man, that's it. What we playing for? But I'm like, I ain't gonna let Lance just run up and down the court by himself. Because you was playing hard. I think the first game after it happened, I think.
Yeah, we played Mardella with the Mardella. I had 22. I was going to the hoop.
I had Gary. I said, Lance not playing. Like,
hot.
Man, and Gary, I think Gary was still coming to watch the game, so it's like, all right, we still gonna get it.
We still gonna get it, because then Richard, and that goes a good coach too, because then Richard was just like, guys, even though we can't get the Bayside, we can still get the states. You know what I'm saying? So that was always in the back of my mind. So then what happened was, and which was dope. So we had a week. This is probably the best. I had a 3-game stretch my junior year, which was great, probably more statistically better. But I still think this 3-game stretch was better for me because of my team too. So if you remember, we had Ken Island, and this is after the Mardella game. It was snow delay. We had a couple of days. We had Ken Island, then we had Cambridge, then we had North Dorchester. Now, if we still had our record, us beating them 3 teams, we didn't. Then we two spots ahead of first. We rolled the rest of the way. Because for people that didn't understand, we still only lost. Without Gary, we still only lost 4. Well, without him, we still only lost 1 game. That was a Waha. We went on like a 6-game win streak after that. So we still only lost 1 game to Waha, and then we ended up losing 2 more.
At the end, 3 altogether.
3 South, and then we won. I'm counting the playoffs. So 3. You're right.
3 altogether.
The playoffs are separate. Right.
That's what I was like, man.
So that's how good we were. That even without Gary, we still only lost 1 game. And that was to a South team. So. Talking about that, we tear Ken Island up. Ken Island they had got Ron Taylor back, and you know what I'm saying, that didn't matter. You know,
we knew what he was bringing.
So again, because they didn't have Ron Taylor the first game, but we had Gary. This time we don't have Gary, but they have Ron Taylor. We busted them. Then we had to showdown against Cambridge. And no D Jones, obviously he's their best player, but they still got Shavar. Went up being the player of the year that year. They still had Preston King.
They had a squad.
And Juice, recipes. They had a squad. They had Charlie Pinkett. They still had a squad. That game, a couple things stand out to me about that game. One, first of all, I gotta find that tape. I don't know where my tape is. The one, it was 32-27 in the first half. They went on. They hit a couple buckets. I think I did these details. I read it again a couple hours ago. Charlie Pinkett gave a pass to Rashawn. He scored. I said, we let Boot score.
Oh, He
scored. He scored. Then I think Pinkett hit a jumper. Something else happened. They went up 5. So then you actually came down. And this is one of the things I do like about you. You don't care. You came down 4-3, but you got fouled. Got fouled, and you hit all 3 free throws, which is hard to do. That actually cut it.
I don't even remember.
Yeah, that cut it to 2. That was a big play. That cut it to 2 right before the half. And then Charlie hit a 3 to make it 5, but that was still good because it would have been an 8-point game.
Yeah.
So we go in the second half, like, we good. Going to the second half, they get up a little bit in the third quarter, and obviously fourth quarter, Cabby gets hot.
Okay, I'm with you.
He brings back. Rob ends up hitting the game with a shot. Yeah. But then the out of bounds run is what I always remember, because I don't know if you remember, but I was supposed to hit you streaking.
Mm-hmm.
It was full court, and what's crazy about it, this is how tight the game was, right?
Yes.
I kept trying to tell Richard, I can't see.
Yeah.
Like the way they was on the baseline, I couldn't see you going. So what I wanted to do was just throw it and just hope you got it. But then if I turn the ball over, they're like, "Oh, Lance just threw the ball in there." So my point was, I was like, "I'm going to Cabby this whole time. Threw it to Cabby, they deflected it, they get it back, and we foul. But then luckily, again, rest in peace, my boy Juice, he missed both free throws, and we win the game.
Yeah,
I always remember about that. I'm telling you, I would have never forgave myself. And we ended up losing that game, and I missed that pass to you, which was wide open, would have put us up 3.
Richard was mad about that.
He was mad. I can't see. All I could do, I wanted him to let Derek throw it out. Derek take it out because he could see.
But
Derek, he might make a bad decision. Right? I wanted the ball. I wanted to go shoot the free throws. You know what I'm saying? I'm being real. You know what I'm saying? So
I started that game.
Yeah, you started that game. Yeah. So I always remember that. And then to finish that week, we beat North Dorchester, which was a good team. They had cats like Gary Midget, young Formonte West.
Yeah, Formonte.
Guys like that. I think Terrence Bridges, guys like that. So
Formonte was nice.
Yeah. So we beat them. So that week we went on, and I remember I messed my ankle up at the end of that game. So then I played the next game against St. Michael's the following week.
But you was limited.
But I was limited, and you had a big game against St. Michael's again. And then against Queen Anne's, the following, I sat out. You had 24 points, 5 threes.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I always remember that. So then, we get Gary back. What's your thoughts on we get G back? What you think?
It was over then. Like, I was like, my man that came back. Like, let's get it. Like, and then I think when he came back, Richard, like we was all like, I remember me and Mike, you. Sometimes Twan would be with us. Yeah. I remember we'd be riding with Richard. He'd be asking us stuff. Yeah. That's what I liked about Richard.
Yeah,
he would ask us stuff.
He would.
And I remember him asking us, like, I'm thinking about having to work Gary back in. And we like, nah,
you throw him in there.
Throw him in there.
I'm good. We adjust.
Man, he went back.
Yeah.
I was like,
he picked up right where he left off.
Let's get it.
The thing that hurt us is we get Gary back, but we lose DC. We lose Derek.
Yeah.
So him and Gary only got to play together at the beginning of the season because he got
4 games.
Yeah, like 4 games. I think he came back against Chrisfield. We lost that one. We actually started good that game too. I found the article. We started off good, but we lost that game, and then we had another game. I don't know who it was against, because actually they shorted us 2 games that year. Like, people being real, and the reason I remember, because honestly we played them 2 games. I probably had my 1,000 points because we had Kent County didn't let us play again. That's the other team we played. We played Kent too. But there was another. There was 2. We played Kent twice. We only played Kent once, and we only played Hurlock once. So
then they gave 2 games. Then they get them wins.
And they get them wins. And the crazy thing is, if you want to go by the games we lost, the games that they took from us, we still ended up in technically second place. Without them games. Without the games. Obviously, with the games, we only lost 3 games. So.
Dang,
I know, man. They did us dirty, bro. I tell you,
I was thinking about it now, man. They did us dirty.
It is dirty, yo. So in the playoffs, though, it's time for the playoffs. We know we don't have Derek. We got to play Stephen Decatur, and I don't know if you remember, man, but you, Cabby, and I think it was somebody else. Y'all shot the lights out.
Yeah.
I mean, y'all was shooting that thing, and I don't know what.
Was we down Decatur?
We was in Decatur. Y'all, because that's another thing with the seeding. The seeding was all messed up. I
used to love they run.
Bro, because the following year you also killed too. Yeah. We get that too.
I used to love they run.
But you was killing, man, and then y'all you made it easier for me. That's what I'm talking about. The other person, you, Cabby, and Gary, y'all always hit. Yeah. And then I took care of the inside, and then we just played good as a unit. And then we had to see the eventual champ, J.M. Bennett, and John Holmes, and Big Steve Moran, them guys, Cornell, those guys. So they ended up beating us. We just didn't have enough.
I think we could have beat them.
We could have beat them with more time. More time. Yeah. It's one of them things like this. It's crazy as it is. I'm still glad that Gary made first team and all that because he got 10 games taken from him and stuff like that.
He deserved it.
But it was easier for us to adjust without Gary than it was without Derek. Cause you can't replace 6'8", 6'9".
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? With Gary, we just knew, okay.
Because we used to clearing out now.
Yeah, exactly.
You had to play big.
Right, I had to play the center, bro. Like, you know,
I'm down here boxing out.
We moved Skinner up. Maybe we should have gave him some more time. But still, you can't teach 6'8", 6'9".
It's totally
so without Gary, all we did was just elevate our scoring. Everybody just scored a little more. You know, I go from second to first. Kevin goes from third to second. You go from fourth to third. Mike,
we lost a little bit on defense.
We lost some defense.
Rebound.
And with Derek, like you said, he's any shot that he's not even swatting, he's at least altering the shots. Yeah. So it was hard. And they was big.
Yeah.
Benner was big.
And then if one of us get in foul trouble.
And then because we was only playing normally off the bench, we really run an eight-man rotation with you, Cornell, and Rob.
Yeah.
So then you take the other person away, we run the 7-man rotation.
That's it.
It got kind of hard. So but you know, great year. You know, obviously, you know, it was disappointing what happened, but that adversity we faced, man, I think it made us all better men, you know, years later down the road. You know what I mean? Like I've seen Dusty, you know, for instance, in the while we've talked, and we haven't talked about that. We talked in the
Dusty coached me
and stuff
before
like
too.
that. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Those guys that down Saints that you know caused a lot of stuff, but it's all good. But so going into your senior year, I know you had to be excited, man. I mean, you know, it's your show.
Man.
I mean, it's your time. We gone, you know what I'm saying? You got, obviously, again, you know, you, Mike, you got Skinner now, obviously there. So what was your mentality going into your senior year?
Going into my senior year, I say we was excited, but it kind of hit me like that year for trials, we didn't even make cuts.
Oh, y'all didn't make no cuts?
Nah, it wasn't even enough.
It wasn't enough people to make cuts. Oh, okay.
And like we really didn't have every piece. We didn't have like a true big man. Like Rob wasn't a
right.
Rob is a 3 in college.
Yeah, he's a 3.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he like the spot on shooting 3.
Yeah, we at the time, like looking back now, we was wrong. But at the time, we was beating him up like, yo, you need to play big. You need to play big.
I always said that.
But now that we know the game,
yeah.
Rob was a 3.
Rob was good.
Rob was a 3. He was shooting. Like, he wasn't supposed to be banging down there. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was some people, and like, a lot, like, I done talked about this before with my former teammates, but, and I don't think I ever told Richard this, and if I did, he probably laughed at me. But I really, really think, and they could laugh at me out there or think I'm crazy, but Kill should have played more. Rodney Wayman. He could rebound. He was a big body down there. Like Kill played with me from Dale all the way up.
Kill had skill. Like
but
he had skill.
He just never really got that chance to really do it. You know what I'm saying? He had like a hip replacement, different stuff that he had. But you know, I think maybe we should have used him a little bit more. Like I think our game plan that Richard had was based off of the team that we had. Right. But we didn't have that no more. And it was hard to adjust.
He let y'all shoot a lot more threes that year too. Because I came to something because y'all had to.
I think that he would be mad about it. Yeah. But it was like I can't take him out. You know what I'm saying? Like, and we knew that. I knew that. Right.
So it's like you say, you got you, Mike, Rob, Cornell, Matt Gordon, Juwan all returning. And then you gain, like you said, Skinner, even though, again, he got pulled up a couple of games. And this is two people I want to talk about, but also, you know, shout out Marcus, he got moved up too. And then Travis Murray. But it's two people I want to talk about that I forgot. One, DJ Brooks. Now, I talked to DJ. DJ was on the podcast season 2 or season 3. And I always told DJ, I said, DJ, if we had you, because I just named them people. I forgot about DJ. If we had another shooter, that's another person, bro, we were supposed to have.
I forgot all about
me
DJ
too.
For
DJ didn't come.
My junior year.
DJ didn't come or because he thought playing time, but he said it was because of the grade and stuff. You know what I'm saying? But maybe a combination of both. But he was at Eastern. He was at Eastern.
Yeah, it must have been great.
So he did come back to y'all your senior year. He did come back from Saints, and then also I just want to mention him, but I want to mention his next person. How was it to play with your brother? Because Brew got moved up as well. Your senior, he's a sophomore. Man, how was that, bro? Get to play with your little brother. That'd be cool.
I ain't take it for granted. I ain't gonna say that. I loved it. You know what I'm saying? Me and Boo always we had like the biggest sibling rivalry. Like that you could ever imagine. Like some people seen it, some people didn't. But me and Boo used to go at it, man. You know what I'm saying? Like we two bulls just like this. But it was like when we was on the court together, we did click, but we just didn't get the opportunity as much. You know what I'm saying? And it's like
I agree.
I think Richard seen the potential in Boo, but it was something that Boo didn't prove to him for him to get
even more
the opportunities. Like I just remember little stuff that Richard would do to psych us out mentally, and it was just like Boo reacted to it differently. Like I remember in practice one day, bro, like Richard set all of us on the bleachers, right? He had like 4 people at the bottom, 3 here, couple people here, and then just me and Boo at the top, right? So me and Boo up top, we like, oh, like, all right, like, yeah. Richard was like, the people on the bottom, y'all doing everything I asked. Y'all over here, you know what I mean? You doing what you're supposed to do, but you got a little bit of work to do. Y'all 2 up top.
Just chill, yo. Chill.
He said, man, y'all run around here like your ass don't stink. And I'm like, oh, and I'm like, yo, like,
oh man.
So I'm like, man, what in the world? So then like, I mean, during that time, I'm like, man, I don't care. Like, I'm gonna start. Hey, I'm gonna still get off my shots, whatever.
Right.
Boo, he take it real personal because Boo always been real passionate about the game.
He didn't take it part,
and I used to tell Boo like, hey, you can't take it personal. But you know, he did. He was young.
Yeah, he was young.
And you know, years later, like me and Richard joke about that all the time. And like, I just remember Richard telling me like, man, I just seen so much potential in y'all. You know, and it was like, I know you hard headed. You know what I mean? Boo, I really couldn't read. Because Richard coached me from middle school up.
That's true.
You know, Boo, that was really his first time.
He did. Yeah, that's a good point too. I didn't look at it like that.
You know what I mean? Like Boo was a little bit more like just different. He was he react differently. You know what I'm saying? Like I think that like he had what's the coach at Chesapeake? Mathis.
Oh, Mathis, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I've met Coach Mathis before, and the way he carried himself, I don't think I could have dealt with that. But he was perfect with Boo. So it's like, you know what I'm saying? Like he was more like chill, get to the point, and if you don't do it right, you'll sit the bench. I like the coaching style that Richard had, where he was in my face, yelling at me, and I could either get mad and go in and do my thing, or brush him off and go prove to him that I could do it.
That's how I was when he made me. I just went out and just balled. I just got mad and just went,
But Boo was more so like, all right, I know I'm doing the right thing. So leave, like, get out my face. You know what I'm saying?
Well, he learned from that.
It was dope playing with my brother, man. You know, like,
I definitely had to ask.
That was dope.
Like, you got to play with y'all got to play together with us. You know, that's dope. So y'all end up having a very good year. Like it was statistically it was a 12-10 season, but it's actually better than that. I want to go over some of these games because I give y'all a lot of credit for the teams y'all beat that year. So the first game of the year, y'all remember who played the first game of the year? I'll put you on the spot. Y'all played Waha first game of the year.
With Dwayne and them.
Yeah, with Dwayne and them. And there's a little snippet, Josh. Yeah, a little snippet, little snippet right there. And y'all lost by 2, but even Butch Wilder was saying in here that y'all went to overtime. AJ hit a couple shots in overtime. But y'all started good. You had 10 of your 15 in the first half. And then after that, y'all lost a tough one to Colonel. But you had 28 in that one.
Colonel had a little squad.
Colonel had a squad. Joey Fletcher
and them wasn't trash, man.
So you still did your thing against them. And then you guys started finding your footing, you know, beating North Dorchester. You had 22 and guys like that. But because there it is right there. Ricketts Landry net 22 apiece against North Dorchester. You know what I'm saying? Y'all both had 22 apiece. You on Rob.
You got to send me that stuff, man. You got to send me that.
So y'all were doing your thing, but this is one of the wins I want to talk about. I want to talk about this during the regular season. And I was at this game.
All right.
Me and Skinner always talk about it. James and Bennett.
Okay.
Y'all beat James and Bennett at the buzzer. I never forget because, first of all, you was killing. You know what I'm saying? I think you had like 20-something that game. You did. Yeah, 22 that game.
Was that the one at home?
That was the one that was the one at home. We're gonna get to the playoff one. You fouled out, but then Skinner got the game winner. And I remember I ran on the court with Skinner like, you know what I'm saying? So that was dope. But talk about, if you remember anything else about that game. And the reason I wanted to talk about that game is because, again, the year before we lost to them with us. And you could argue our team was better, but y'all knew how to win now and play more because of that experience. And they didn't have big Steve Perham because he had graduated, but they still had big John Holmes, and they had gained Omar. I don't know if he played that first game, but I know he played in the playoffs. They had Omar. So what you remember about just playing that team, beating them?
They was big. Like, they was big. And I just remember Richard like saying like, yo, like, we got to press, right? Because they ball handlers was somewhat suspect. Like, I forget dude name, called him Ricky Davis.
Oh, I know you're talking about.
Braids. Like, he was kind of suspect. So, you know, Mike got good defense up top. And we could play the press pretty good. I ain't gonna say that we had the best defenders, but we could play the press really good. We would put Little on the ball because he was just better chasing the ball than playing the position. And I think that press killed. On top of that, Skinner was like bodying them down.
His body, like, wide frame.
Skinner realized with the refs, like, he wasn't fouling or nothing, but they was banging.
They was banging.
And the refs was letting them ride. And Skinner, I credit Skinner that game, man, because it was like, he was banging. I would get in, I score, but I was in foul trouble throughout the whole game. I remember getting in at the end, and I think I like 4 buckets in a row. Then I got called for a charge.
For the charge,
and I was out. But I put us back up. So then I come out, and like that was probably the first time I really like was like, yo, Skinner, like, yo, do your thing. You know what I mean? Me and him used to go at it. Man, that boy snapped, man.
Yeah, he did.
Skinner,
he was putting his body all on them boys.
Both ends of the court. So
he did. Yeah, so
I definitely give him that.
Remember that. I definitely remember that game and y'all doing your thing. I see against Kent, you had another 23 against Kent later in the year as well. So I gotta bring this up. And you know I know it's gonna be a little painful. You already know where I'm going.
I know it was coming.
You already know where I'm going. I gotta address it. Now listen, we faced some tough St. Michael teams. My sophomore year, we faced Horry was on there, and it took every bit of my 29 and 20, those 2 games and 11 straight. I mean, it took everything. They had him, Goodrich, but just to go back a year, I told you about the game I played on my hurt ankle because they still had Yost and they were tough. And we only beat them by 10 that game. And you had 17, you led us. You get, like I said, you got DJ Brooks back. That was the kind of thing for DJ. Now he's playing against St. Michael's. What do you remember about both losses? I ain't going to say 1-1 because you put your numbers up, like 22. But I will say this in y'all defense before you say anything. Mike being hurt, Mike had hurt his ankles. Mike being hurt was key. My opinion, if Mike's not hurt both of them games, y'all win both of those games. But just talk about those losses, because that was the first time I think in like 40-something years, I think. But,
like, it's St. Michael's.
You
know what I mean? Everybody
it's
goes.
It's still a big rivalry. You know what I mean?
Like, it's a rivalry, but ultimately, you know what I mean? It's like, we're gonna beat Saints. Me though, I'm like, yo, like me and Mike. You know what I mean? Yost played on our AAU team too.
Yeah. We forgot about Yost. Like, sure did.
Yost, like, in my opinion, off of the players I've seen at St. Michael's, Yost is the best player to ever play at St. Michael's that I've seen play.
Body of work he's got.
You know what I'm saying? And it was like, they got Yost. They had Doug Brummel. He a big body.
That's my team. You know what I'm saying? Across the bridge.
CT. He long. You know what I'm saying? Raymond, he fast. Like, he like a Rajon Rondo, but just, like, he uncoordinated with it, but it worked. You know what I'm saying?
Miguel that year.
Miguel, he got the lefty, like, and Desmond was on there too.
Desmond was.
So I'm like, like, they not trash. They got a 5 that could come to the wire. Like, that's where we got it in. They had a 5 that could come to the wire and hold their own. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, all right. And I'm like, nothing against Boo and Marcus, but I'm without my point guard. Mike, my point guard. Like, Mike, the only point guard that I played with my whole life.
You need a sprint point guard for an environment like that.
And like, I think like Richard tried to throw Boo and Marcus in, but I think, because they didn't get as much experience throughout the season.
It's hard to just throw them in there. Like
it was hard. And it was like, I'm doing me, you know what I mean? Little, he kind of doing his thing, but he getting a little caught up in the hype of everything. Because like that, for them, that was revenge from the year before.
Yeah, it was. It was.
You know what I mean?
They felt like they should have had us then. Yeah.
But the first game, what they beat us by the first game?
The first game, I know the second game they beat y'all by one. That was the Miguel shot. Yeah. The second game, I think they just beat y'all by a couple as well.
Whichever game, it was the buzzer beater game.
That was a game at home in Easton Miguel.
We was supposed
off the backboard. I was there for that too. Man. I was there, bro.
We had a ball. Shout out to Little, man. Little is my boy. Biscuit, whatever you call him. That's my God. But we were supposed to hold the rock.
Yeah.
And, Little got a turnover. I mean, Miguel still made the shot, but it was
but still.
Without that turnover, you know what I mean? I ain't gonna call it luck, but man.
It was
my man just threw it up, hit off the glass. Game over, and I'm just like,
I remember saying that, like, I was like, is this joint ready to drop? And that joint went right in. I was like, yo, that's crazy.
The whole gym was just like,
yeah, that's crazy.
And I'm like, man.
But it was just tough for y'all just because, like you said, y'all wasn't at full strength, but I know people won't remember that, but y'all definitely wasn't.
I never take nothing away from them, though. They had a good squad. I think Dusty was coaching them at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dusty, he a good coach. You know what I'm saying? Like, hats off to them. Yeah. They won.
Yeah.
But I definitely would have ran it back if I could have.
For sure. So, another game that impressed me, even though, I know it wasn't a sentimental loss or whatever you want to call it, but Cambridge, last game of the season. I was also at that game. I always had to make sure, that following I was at a lot of the game. Man. Bro, first of all, you balled out.
Bro. That's the one I wanted.
You balled out. So through the first three quarters, you had 20 through the first three quarters. I was like, yo, D is killing. Like, and that's why I said, like even when I was reading your second team thing, I was like a slasher capable of shooting when actually you was a shooter who slashed, but because you slashed so hard, like you was going to the bucket hard. So 20 through three quarters. You ended with 24 points, 8 rebounds, 5 assists, bro. Great numbers. It kind of reminds me of my junior year. I had 24, 11, and 5, and we lost. Man. And as I always say, that was the one game that could have turned things around for me if I want. So what do you remember about that? Because y'all went up on them. I think y'all jumped out like 19-10, 19-11. Jones had 2 fouls. He got in foul trouble. But then they still had Kincaid, they had Brendan, and Charlie that did some shooting. But what do you remember about that game? Because they did, because Jones should have been called for a travel too.
Yeah, at the end.
I remember that too. It gave the
running up the side, came back in, got the ball. Yeah. Man, that one was personal.
Yeah.
I remember the game in Cambridge. Like I did my thing too, but Jones. Like, that's my man, 100 grand to this day. Jones had been talking trash, telling us what he was going to do, and then he did it. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, y'all got to come to Eastern. So they come to Eastern. I remember the first play of the game, I get the and one. I'm like,
he was balling. I was like, yo, D is
balling. Like, Richard trying to take me out, and I'm like, this is probably the first time I told Richard, like, nah, like, if you got to take me out, call time out. Like, and Richard with it. Like, he like, all right. He cut me loose, and man, I gave that one everything.
You did,
and
you did. You left it all.
That was that playoffs or our senior night?
That was your senior night.
Yeah,
your senior night.
So that's my last home game. I gave it everything, man. I remember at the end of that game, bro. I was like, I just sat down on the floor.
You left it all out there, though, bro.
And Mike picked me up. Yeah, and I'm like, bro.
You left it all out there, though,
man.
Because y'all was up, you had 20 after 3, y'all was up by 3. And then what happened was they ended up getting and then y'all was actually up 4. Brendan got a block. Jones forced a bad pass. I'm reading verbatim on this one. And then Charlie hit a 3. And then but you wouldn't let them go. You got like 2 tough rebounds in the paint and got 2 like putbacks to cut it. And then they got another break And then that's when that Jones, like you said, the out of bounds, the inbounds thing happening, and it don't. But and that was it. But man, it was a great game, and I was rooting for y'all because that would have been Jones' only loss to Easton. You know what I'm saying? Because again, when we beat him the year before, he wasn't on there. So I would definitely root for y'all. But man, you balled out.
I wanted that one, bro.
Yeah, you balled out. I know it was a loss, bro, but I remember that game. I was like, honestly, that's probably I think to me, you know, I didn't get to see all your games, and I know it was in a loss, but to me, that was the best game I ever seen you play. You balled out.
I wanted that one, bro.
You balled out. So it was a lot of parallels to your 11th grade year and your 12th grade year. And I don't even know if you realize this because y'all first playoff game, which I didn't realize was against Stephen Decatur, 12th grade too. 11th grade went down to Decatur. 12th grade, you also went down to Decatur first.
We did.
And you was actually sick. You still killed though. You had you scored like the first 9 or 10, and then they said you didn't play a lot of the rest of the game because you were sick. You actually had a good game too. You had 11 that game, and Skinner also killed. Actually, I think Skinner had the first 9, but you had killed as well. Let me make sure I quote. But anything you remember about that playoff game as far as that first one?
I just Aaron, my boy, Aaron Watt.
Yeah, Aaron
Watt.
My boy. Yeah, Aaron Watt.
I just remember telling the team like, yo, he not like that. He not like that. I played AAU with him. He was like that. But I'm telling my team, he not like that. All you want to do is don't. This and that. Like, Aaron had a shot. He had the full package, but I'm telling him that. And, you know what I mean? We came out hard.
Yeah.
We came out hard. I wasn't feeling good. This was before the vid, so it wasn't that. I remember I was throwing up.
They say you said, I said, look at these had the flu game by this man.
Jordan, baby, Jordan.
But yeah, y'all ended up winning by 13. Skinner had 11, and 5. Little had
Blue
18.
Did ball out there.
Blue had 11. And you had looks like the first. You had 8 in the first quarter, so you got them started. Then, like you said, you got sick and kind of chill. But so then I was also at the next game. I remember because me and Ty Johnson, we were at UMES, and y'all played Bennett in Bennett. Now I was so proud of y'all because again, all y'all had done from the year before to earlier in the season beating them, and again they had Omar this game because I think he played the first game, but y'all had him the whole game. What do you remember about that? Because y'all, it seemed like y'all did everything right. Y'all boxed out. Y'all. I know Mike wasn't 100% at that time either, but I see Little had came off the bench. He had 20. DJ had 16. You had 11. Y'all was up by 6 early. Omar had 9 early in that game. But man, y'all was right there. What you remember about that playoff game?
We struggled with rebounding. Like Skinner. You know, Skinner.
He on his own,
But nobody could help him. Like my man was down there banging by himself, you know, like, and then I was in foul trouble. Mike was in foul trouble. Little, you know what I mean? He wasn't like a super defensive player.
Like you said, y'all definitely
so it was just like we was basically playing who could score the most. You know, that's how we stayed up on them because we could all score.
Yeah, y'all was scoring. Y'all was shooting.
The rebounding and all that. And then I remember like a clutch play. Like we tease Skinner all the time, but we can't blame him. But we tease him all the time. I remember Mike made this like nice little move, dished it off to Skinner for the layup. And I think we would have been up by like 2 off of that layup with some seconds left. But Skinner missed it. So like they got the rebound, took it down. Don't City.
Yeah, I remember.
Came down, got another one. Don't City. Then I fouled out. Then Mike fouled out. And it was just downhill from there. That might have been like the last like maybe minute of the game. So it's like a minute in a basketball game that's a long time. And they put up. I don't know if how much we end up losing by, but
y'all was right there. I was looking at some of the back and forth reading it here. Y'all was right there. It was just about a couple of points. Not sure the final score, but I know at one point it was 44-40. Y'all was up, and they had a couple of threes. Little had a real good game that game. He had 20 off the bench. He had some big shots, but I was proud of y'all boys. I wanted y'all to get it, but y'all left it all out there, man. Y'all played. And I always say y'all played a lot better than we played the year before. I said, man, we could have played like that. But y'all had the formula for them. Y'all just needed, like you said, maybe just one more one more thing, one more play, one more something. Yeah, one more something. But
you was always there, bro.
Oh, bro, I'm gonna
every
be there.
game,
I'm gonna be there, bro. You know that I was gonna represent and be there because y'all been my friends and then just playing with y'all the year before.
Yeah.
But man, you again, I said it before, but I mean, you had a great high school career. I always say I'm sure you just like me, where we always think we can do better. But for you to make second team your senior year, averaging 15, 5, and 3, you went into playing an All-Star game. It was playing an All-Star game where Aaron Wyatt had dunked the ball off the you remember? He dunked the ball off the glass, right? You come right down in typical Dee Ricketts fashion, quiet the crowd, shoot a deep 3, quiet the crowd. Yost ended up with 22.
I remember
the boys by 8. So I wasn't playing cause y'all had a nice squad. Because you talked about AAU. Yeah. It was kind of like that in the All-Star game. Yost,
it was the same people, man.
So y'all just having fun, right?
Yeah, like it was fun, man. Like same people. All-Star game was like our AAU team. Yeah. And it's like, bro, like one player I think always was like underrated. Like people didn't give him enough credit. And that was Mar.
Yeah. He was a pest, boy.
He didn't make the All-Star team at first, but somebody else that got picked. I don't know who it was, but they couldn't play, so then they put Mar on there, right?
Oh wow, he was key too. I remember that lobby through the Jones
in that game.
Yes, sir.
And it's like,
I remember
the coach. I forget who that coach was.
Yeah, they always had different people.
But it was the coach. That coach that year. In the All-Star practice, we really practiced. Like we think we about to go in there and just chill. We really practiced. And then in the game, like he gave Mar a lot of burn. And I think Mar had like a couple like
he had some nice plays.
JUCOs and stuff talking to him after the game.
That's what's
but
up.
it's like a lot of people don't know. He watched everything Mike did. Because Mar always like that's my like Jones, Ty, all them, we all close.
Yeah.
But Mar always wanted to get close to me because I felt like he wanted to be my point guard. But Mike was my point guard.
Right.
And it was like, it was him and Jones, me and Mike. You know what I'm saying? And it was like, and Jones, he Jones. So
yeah.
But yeah, I had to give a shout out to Mar, yo.
Yeah, you're right. Shout out Mar, because Mar, I'm reading a thing now. He had 10, converted still into a layup.
Yeah.
Also made the ensuing foul to shrink the North deficit the 3. Then, like I say, you hit the 3, night of the crowd, and then then he got a basket tied up 77 apiece going into the fourth quarter. Y'all traded basket. Jones and Tillman connected on an alley-oop. And then from there, it just went on. Like I said, Yost finished at 22 and 12, and even Rob chipped in with 10.
Yeah, that was fun.
You know what I'm saying? So that was a fun game. I was at that one too. That was a fun game.
Rob, the only one. I don't think Rob ever played AAU with us.
I don't think he did.
He the only one because he came, later, but
yeah, I don't think
and then he was in the golf in
where's
the summer.
Rob at now?
I want to say he in Florida.
Yeah, that's what's up, man.
But I know he was golfing and stuff.
Rob, that's what's up. Shout out Rob Landry, man.
Rob Landry. Man.
But yeah, man. So
good times, man.
End of your senior year, you know what I'm saying, in great fashion with a win. In Real Sports Fan Podcast, I'm gonna get D out of here soon, man. I was looking at the time, but we in here talking, having a good time.
It's easy.
It's easy, man. Like I'll tell you, y'all make sure y'all check this whole episode out. I'm gonna get them out of here in a couple minutes off these couple next questions. Talk to me about you can touch on college. I know you did go to college, but I want you to really touch on that decision to go into the service. Because you get some people that the service is for them, some people it's not, and for you it's Navy. Navy, right? Navy. So let's talk about the decision to you can hit on college first.
Like I went to school, Virginia State University. Athena, once again, you know what I mean? This was before like everybody was uploading on YouTube.
Right. Yeah, we have all that.
I got into school like academically. Like I had good grades, got scholarships or whatever. Athena reaches out to the coach, like, my son wanna play ball. Like I kind of did, I kind of didn't. Like it really didn't matter.
Right.
So we go to the school for orientation, and she like, in the middle of the orientation, she like, come on. And I'm like, where we going? Like, we in orientation. And she like, no, the coach just called me.
Okay.
I'm like, like, I ain't know nothing about this. So we go up to his office, you know what I'm saying? My mom got a manila envelope.
Your stuff in there.
I'm like, I'm thinking it's like paperwork that I need for college or something. She got a tape in there.
That's dope. That's dope.
Man, she popped the tape in for him. Like, he started talking to me. He like, man, you know, like, come out, blah, blah. I'm like, oh, shoot. He like, yeah, we can't give you a full ride, but we could give you like a little something. I think they was gonna give me like my book voucher or something. It was something that they was gonna give me.
Help, right.
And he was like, but I got a senior point guard, so you got the red shirt. And in my head, I'm like, man, here we go, running point again. Like, running point again.
That's what you is at your height. You know that,
And red shirt, I'm like, nah, like, you know what I mean? I had a baby on the way. I'm like, I gotta work. Like, I ain't trying to red shirt. And my mom like, you understand what this means? You get money, blah, blah. So I'm like, all right, cool. So I go out, whatever. He made all the red shirts gotta go to tryouts.
Okay.
So we go. I do all right. Like, I really wasn't into it, but I did decent enough to still get the money.
How was the trials and stuff?
Like, just a bunch of running. You know, I
wasn't
into that. I was like, I ain't trying to be running. So we do it, and he like, all right, cool, like, and come back on Monday. So we went home or whatever. I forget what it was, some weekend. So I went back home, and I'm like telling my mom, and she like excited, whatever. And then I go back, bro, and I'm just like, I gotta work. Like, I got a daughter. Like, I gotta work.
Okay.
And I went to him, and I'm like, yo, like, what can I do and still work? And he like, nah, you can still play. Blah, blah. So I'm like, all right, cool. 2 weeks go by, because they did a trial, and then you off, and then they could be with you to start practicing. He ended up getting fired.
Oh, wow.
Or released or something.
Yeah, something else.
So now he gone.
Bringing somebody
So now the new person, like, all the red shirts got tried again.
Oh my God! I'm good. I can hear you now.
I'm like, I'm good. So
I can hear you now, yo. I ain't going through all that again.
Nah, like the little bit of money that they gave me, I still got. I ain't tried. Like,
I'm
it was. Then that's I think the year after that,
that's your first decision as an adult, right?
Yeah, that's real. I worked whatever. The year after that, and my boy, if he see this, my man Chuck, he was my roommate at the time. I went and tried out again.
Oh, you did?
But we had went out the night before.
Okay. So you probably there early.
Man, I wasn't doing that. So yeah, we did that. So then like I went through school, like, and you know, having a kid that young, that turned into my main focus. Like, how can I provide for her?
Right.
And it was like, so I started working instead of going to class, stuff like that. Like, my mom popped up on me a couple times, and I wasn't in class because I was trying to make money. So ultimately, like, I got out of college because I never flunked. I never failed a class. I passed every class that I went to.
Yeah, that you went to.
But I didn't. I stopped going because I was trying to make money. So then I come back to Easton. I'm home for a little bit. I worked at the Benedictine school because you know I love working with kids.
Yeah.
So I was working with autistic kids and stuff, and it was like, it was cool. It was cool. And then Albert Finch, I graduated with him.
He also was on here. Shout out.
Yeah, I graduated with Albert. Albert should have hooped. He never came and tried out, but I reached out to Albert, and I'm like, yo, how the Navy? You know what I mean? Like, cause he went straight out of high school. And like, I remember he was like, yo, I'll call you, but it's gonna be like this time, your time. I'm like, what you talking? Like, that's mad late, bro. Like, so he hit me up. He like, man, I'm sorry, like, it's late because I'm in Italy.
Wow.
I'm like, oh. And then he just started telling me stuff about the Navy. And then my uncle, he was in the Navy. My mom was Army. My other uncle was Marine. So I come from a family of service, but I always was like, I'll never go. So then I got laid off at the Benedictine school. And I was like, I gotta get out of here. And I went to the Navy. And it's like, outside of the brothers that I met in college, like, if I could do it over again but still meet all the people that I met, I would have went to the Navy first. Just because I needed that structure and everything. Like, even when I first got in the Navy, I was somewhat of a knucklehead, and I went in at like 23, 24, and I got in trouble a couple of times, but you know the Navy has been a blessing to me and my family. You know what I mean? Like I just
took you all around the world,
man,
provided for you.
It just changed you, like and like I was able to provide for my daughter. You know, I spent a lot of time away from her, but my goal was to take care of her. You know what I'm saying? And I was able to do that. And now I'm on my downslope. Like I retire in 6 years.
That's what I was just gonna say.
I'll be 44 when I retire.
Yeah, because I got a cousin that's getting ready to graduate in 3. That's in the Marine. So yeah.
It's a blessing. And right now I'm in school at Florida State of Jacksonville. So I'm finishing up. I'm finishing up my degree, man. So
what's up.
And it's getting paid for teaching still. So that's what I went to school for originally, is to be a teacher.
And they pay all that's paid for.
All paid for, bro.
Oh man.
You know what I mean? Shout out to my fiance. She the one, like, she pushed me.
What's up, man?
I was pushing it off for so many years, yeah, man. It's good. It's like,
what's some of the places you seen around the world?
Man,
you know what I'm saying?
Kuwait, Dubai. Love Dubai.
Dubai was nice.
Fujairah, Oman, all spots in Spain. Like, man, I've been everywhere, bro.
What's your favorite?
Dubai gotta be my favorite. Dubai gotta be my favorite, bro.
That's what's
up. Gotta be my favorite.
That's what's up, man. Like you said, took you all around the world, provided, and you talked about, you know, I'm gonna hit you with 2 more questions. I promise to get you out. But you talked about, you know, your daughter and you know, having to find a way to provide for her and what you have. And now, you know, once this comes out, you know, she had graduated, man.
Yeah, she graduated tomorrow.
Yeah, man. So I mean, what a blessing, man, bro.
She a year early too.
Yeah, man.
She got me.
So you did great. That mean you and mom did a great job, man. In the community and people around her. You know, it takes a village.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You talked about that village at LBC.
Always.
That was a village for you. It's the same thing with her. Like that village, man. I know sometimes it might have got tough, you know, being away from her and being in the Navy and being away from your family. I'm sure you had some nights that you won't probably tell nobody about, but you know, you persevered, you made it. You know what I'm
between Mike, Boo, my mom, you know, Miss Camellia, Casey, you know what I mean? Like her mom done great, you know, like I've been blessed, man. I've been blessed. So
that's a blessing, bro.
Yeah, bro.
I'm proud of you, man. I love you. And I gotta get you out here with this to them Bulls. DeMar DeRozan,
man,
great season. This is the question I got for you. Well, first I got 2 questions for you. First, tell me about your thoughts on the year they had. You know, which was a very good year with the injuries y'all had with Lonzo Ball and Caruso not the lineup. About you know, I think Patrick Williams, those guys, but also going into next year, is Zach LaVine coming back?
I don't know. I don't know, bro. I would love to have him back.
Yeah.
But if we lose him and pick up
somebody
solid, I think we'll still be all right.
I like Zach, though. I like that Zach.
I love Zach.
Yeah, I like Zach.
But this year, we did what I expected.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I was like, we'll go back to the playoffs. That's it, man.
Yeah, Rose had a great year.
The rookie with
was it Patrick Williams?
Nah, the one with the African
the guard.
Man.
Yeah.
I ain't know he had that.
Yeah.
So it's like, and we wouldn't have known that if Ball ain't get hurt.
Right.
You know
That's true. Keep building.
I did. Like, I wasn't a big Ball fan, but like
you can see his importance though.
I see it.
Yeah.
Like I see it.
Yeah,
so
Vucevic keep getting better, you know what I'm saying, and whatnot. So, and I like Billy Donovan as a coach too.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
I wouldn't mind having one more like true big body.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I
like,
think y'all need something.
Vooch, he do his thing, but I mean like a true, banger.
Because he's more finesse. You know what I'm saying?
But
how you feel about your ex-bull, Jimmy Butler? The shot.
Jimmy, my God.
I know Jimmy got. How you feel about the shot?
I would have took the same shot. I would have took the same shot.
Why am I asking this guy?
I would have took the same
this guy about you, but I ain't gonna lie. I said, listen. I said, people, y'all gotta understand.
If you make it, he's a hero.
If you got, thank you. That's why I said, if you make it here, I said, if you got 35 in the game, and that man back pedal like that, and you got the watch. A lot of people gonna shoot. Now, don't even understand. I hear people say you tired at home, you went on the road. It's easy. Say he can go by Al Horford get left, but Jimmy didn't have nothing left, bro. He said, I gotta shoot.
He done. I gotta shoot this.
He didn't have nothing left.
Without Jimmy, they wouldn't even have been there.
Nope.
You see the games that he had bad games.
Yeah. And I say, man, if Hero could have been healthy, more, or Lowry could have been a little more healthy. You never know.
Yeah.
You know, we could win it.
I was pulling for y'all.
Yeah,
man.
I know you
was.
Man.
Pulling for y'all.
Give me your finals prediction, man. We get out of here.
Man, I'm gonna go with Golden State. Man.
How many games?
I'm gonna go with Golden State in 6.
Golden State in 6.
Golden State in 6.
Golden State in 6, man. It's definitely looking like Steph might get another ring, and if he does, I'll be happy for him as long as he gets his first Finals MVP. Yeah. But I ain't root for Boston. I don't want to see Golden State get it. I'm rooting for Boston. I do like Tatum. Yeah, I like him, but I want to see Golden State. Man. Yeah, so man, we'll see, man. But man, bro, this has been fun. Yeah. Like you said, I'm glad we waited and did it in person.
Thank you, bro.
Man, we were on this joint for a minute. I didn't even realize this was fun.
It means a lot, man. That's why when you hit me, I'm like, man, what we gonna talk about? Like, you know me, like, I like to talk about other people, man.
Nah, bro, give you your flowers, man. Like I said, give you your flowers for what you did on the court, for you being a brother and a friend of me. You know what I'm saying? But like you said, family. You know what I'm saying?
This man right here, L-Dub. That's Scottie Pippen, man. I appreciate you, bro.
Love you, bro.
Love you too, man.
Thanks for coming through. I like Sports Fan Podcast. We out of here. Peace.